Now, you may not have seen one of these before. You probably haven't, although you may have done. I had this specially made for me. At the time, I thought it was unique. All the details in the hole, there was art, you know. In the hole, it says, it was made by Peter Abnett, who made it on the 20th of February, 1972. He worked all day that day and got it finished. He worked all day that day and got it, yes, he got it. It's got a banjo neck. If you start here and come this way, it's banjo. If you go that way, it's nothing. And you've got to look all around the world before you come in here. Okay? So do look at it this way, it does save time. And if you look at it that way, you've got to look over China, and they don't like it. So it's much better to look at it from here to here. So from here to here is banjo, okay? But just here, there's a little opaque dot, which I can see and you can't. Now you can see it tonight. Amazing how that works. It's magnetic. Right there, it stops being a banjo and it becomes a mandolin. So we took the two, we put the two names together and we called it a bandolin. I was going to call it a manjo, but I'm a bit worried something might come easy during the interview. Yes. Now, this is a song that I got from a guy called Jon Rennard. Now, Jon Rennard died in 1972 in a car crash in Leeds after a steady bout of drinking with his friend Marsh. Unfortunately, because Jon Rennard would have been huge. He was a fantastic singer, and I'm sure he would come over here many times. Unfortunately, he met a very untimely death. He was actually quite young, of course. He came to me one night. I was playing in Newbury, which is a few miles west of London, and he turned up. He'd come down from Leeds, but he was booked the next week, and he got it wrong. You see, he'd come a week early. So, a bit like you two, probably. Why don't you come see him? They're lovely, well done. And he came back to my house and he taught me this song, and then he disappeared back to Leeds, and we became really good friends. In fact, just to tell you a very quick story about Jon Rennard, I can go on forever, and perhaps I will. But Jon Rennard lived in a little tiny garret flat in Leeds, about 4 or 5 stories up. So there were 4 or 5 flats underneath him, condominiums. Back in the 60s we didn't call them that, we called them flats. And little tiny top garret flat with a window that opened up on the roof. And I've been playing in Leeds, and I came back to his place. He said, "Okay, Joe," he said, you're sleeping here tonight, that's my bed." I said, "Oh, thank you, John." I said, "Where are you sleeping?" "Ah," I said, "I'm sleeping with a girl who lives five houses down the road." He said, "She doesn't know it yet, but I'll be down there." It was November, misty wet November. I said, "Right." So after having a couple more drinks and anything else we might have done that night, he therefore said good night, and with that he pushed open the window and he climbed out and he walked across 5 houses, banged on the window of 6 houses, and the window opened up and his hand reached up and grabbed him by the scruff and pulled him in. Didn't see him until the next morning, of course. Anyway. Song about a young fellow who, very old traditional song, it's a song about a young fellow who goes to work in Sheffield as an apprentice. He doesn't like his master. He runs away to London, and where his mistress falls in love with him. Unfortunately for him, he's fallen in love with Polly, the chambermaid. So he turns his mistress down. Very unwise thing to do because she has him hung. I sing all the happiest songs I can. I was brought up in Sheffield, but not of high degree. My parents doted on me, they had no child but me. I wandered in my pleasure where'er my fancy led. till I was bound apprentice. Then all my joys they fled. My master did not like me, he did not use me well. I swore a resolution not long with him to dwell. Unknown to my dear family, from him I ran away and made my way to London. Oh, cursed be that day. I had not been in London a year, but maybe 3, when my dear lovely mistress grew very fond of me. She said her gold, her silver, her houses and her land, if I'd consent to marry her, would be at my command. I said, dear honoured mistress, I cannot wed you both, for lately I have promised upon a solemn oath to wed with none but Polly, your pretty chambermaid. Forgive me, my dear mistress, she has my heart betrayed. My mistress said I'd robbed her, which ne'er was my intent. Because I would not marry her, she did it from contempt. From this place of confinement, they took me to a tree. Oh, woe be to my mistress, for she has ruined me. Now all who stand around me, my wretched fate to see, don't blame me in my downfall, and don't you pity me. Don't blame me, I am innocent, I bid the world adieu. Farewell to you, dear Polly, I die for love.